coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah. The boys are John Bond. Black coat, white shoes, black hat, Cadillac, yeah.
YouTube, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. Just want to give a quick shout out to everyone for being here and for all the amazing support. You guys, you know you're a part of the best damn community here on YouTube, without a doubt. So we all know that silver's been enjoying a nice run since spring of 2024, and well, it's been met with good and bad reviews. The good is when folks are selling because the prices have been good. The bad is because quite a few stackers are kind of in hold mode, trying to wait silver out to see if it has another sub $28 drop in spot price. Now, we may hit the proverbial slump that silver's famous for and see that price drop, but what if we don't? What if silver is setting a new floor right now at $29 to $30? And what's the potential for it to go up even higher this year and in years after this? Well, if I had a crystal ball and someone who knew how to use the damn thing, I'd be more confident in giving you that information, right? But since I don't, I'll just settle for going over 3 key indicators that might signal a significant silver bull run coming up. And just to reiterate, these are kind of things to just keep an eye on. This isn't financial advice to run out and sell a farm for silver. Don't ever do that based on what you've seen here on YouTube. Nobody truly knows where silver goes. Let's roll it. All right, so the first thing we want to watch is the GSR, or gold to silver ratio. Now, it's not a tell-all, but it does give good indicators. 2 months ago, the GSR broke a key support level, and that indicated it could be in the early stages of closing the gap with gold. Right now, it's still pretty high. That ratio is up there. But that only means silver is underpriced compared to gold at the moment. But there's some indication that trend is in the early stages of a reversal, and that can be attributed to this fact. In present times, the GSR is averaged between 40 to 1 and 60 to 1. And when the GSR gets too far above the high end of that historical average, well, it has a tendency to return to the mean, and by a large margin. As an example, the GSR set a record of 123 to 1 in 2020, and that was with COVID as the main driver pushing the gap apart. And then it took a huge drop to 60 to 1 in 2021 as central banks around the world stepped up the printing of their currencies to deal with the governments shutting down the economies. And another example of a huge drop took place in 2011 when the GSR fell to 30 to 1. Well, I wish we could go back to those times. After shooting up to 80 to 1 during the peak of the 2008 financial crisis. In the end, the recent breakdown of the support level in the GSR kind of stands out even more since demand for silver is at a record level while supply hasn't truly kept up. So which metals should we buy when we're talking about an ever-evolving GSR? Well, there's a little graphic that indicates it's best to buy mostly silver when the ratio is above 70, gold when the ratio is below 50, and you want to buy both metals when the ratio falls between 50 and 70. Now take that for what you will. What I do know is that a lot of stackers would very likely use a lower ratio to lighten their silver load by trading for gold if the ratio hits a favorable point. Most of us have a set number in mind if we do it, so it's up to each individual stacker and their set of goals. That's what it boils down to. But given that the present scenario still is bullish for gold, well, silver could be priming for a significant bull run of its own. Next thing we want to keep an eye on is gold during a bull market. Why is that? Well, silver, believe it or not, historically outperforms gold when one hits. Seriously, look at the numbers. The bottom line is silver is cheaper than gold. So when metals increase, it has a more favorable chance of going higher than gold, percentage-wise. Obviously not price-wise, percentage-wise. And if you're holding gold and silver, well, silver will make you more of a profit should you decide to sell during a bull market. In theory, of course. In theory. Now, things have been so crazy since the pandemic, I don't think many of us have a clue what happens next. And the last thing to keep an eye on, silver demand. It's expected to hit 1.2 billion ounces this year, 1.2 billion. And that would rank as the second highest annual silver demand on record. And keep in mind that this level of demand would create a structural market deficit, get this, of 176 million ounces. That's how much we'd be short. Now, that would also be the 4th consecutive year of demand outstripping supply, which further reduces global silver reserves. So you have to remember that silver is mostly mined as a byproduct, really, of copper, lead, and zinc mines. they find silver, they get it out of there, and that's the main source. And that's because there are very few dedicated silver mines left here in the U.S. For example, in our country, silver was produced at 4 dedicated silver mines, and as a byproduct or co-product from 33 domestic base and precious metal operations. So 4 dedicated, 33 not dedicated. They were mining other metals. So the structural deficit in 2023 came in at 184.3 million ounces. Now expect that to rise because demand isn't going anywhere but up. And that means mines are going to have to dig deeper at more cost, which will translate into silver becoming more expensive. Or if they've been holding on to a reserve, they're going to release that reserve into the supply chain. Either way, they're going to have to dig for more silver. So we're getting ready to close this video out, but before I do, let me reiterate once again that the info I've given you here is just something to keep in the back of your brain housing group. Military term. You guys in the military know it. We all know how volatile silver is and has been over the years, and we also know that we can't even remotely predict where it's going to go. Today's video is just to give 3 key performance indicators, all right, those 3, that might indicate silver has a chance to make even more noise than it already has. As for silver's new floor, well, each week that goes by and we're hovering between the high 20s and mostly in the 30s, kind of just sends a vibe that we've done just that, set a new floor. And now that I've said it, silver's probably going to drop to under 28, so I apologize in advance for that. All right, there you have it, folks. Do you keep an eye on the GSR? And are you thinking about trading some silver for gold if the GSR hits a magical number? If so, what's your number? Be sure to leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. You guys know I love going through them, so make sure you sound off. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. If you made it this far, well, kudos to you. I'll definitely catch up with you in the next episode. But in the meantime, you gotta know what's up.
What do you want to do with your life?
I want to start.
Damn right, get stacked. Stay safe and be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, folks.
You still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Oh, yes. And what was that beginning, middle, and end part again?